Welcome back to my Mental Health and Crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders. I'll be going through all the articles that I could find from the beginning, whether it was on social media. They all are allegedly. These are speculations, and this is for entertainment purpose only. Came across this article. This person wrote, I don't know if I should post this, but I'm originally from Moscow, and most of my family still lives there. Yesterday, someone I know that still lives there called me and told me that they had just spoken with the police. Long story short, he works with a guy who had for months been wearing a hunting knife to work on his belt and was asked not to bring it to work anymore. And the guy made a big deal about it, refused and continued to wear it to work. Then after the murders, he no longer wore the knife to work. When asked by co-workers where the knife was and was asked to produce it, he refused and threatened to sue for harassment. In addition, the person was known for being punctual and not missing work, and would even come in on days not scheduled. The day and the week after the murders, he was a no-call, no-show to work. And lastly, the night of the murders, he was in vicinity of the food truck. Wow. He refused and threatened to sue for harassment. In addition, this person was known for being punctual and not missing work, and would even come in on days not scheduled. The day and the week after the murders, he was a no-call, no-show to work. And lastly, the night of the murders, he was in the vicinity of the food truck at the same time the victims were there. The person I know said that the person in question has given off weird vibes the entire time they've worked together. Supposedly, no one on the crew likes working with him because of his weird behaviors. Maybe it's a lot of coincidence. And because of that, I'm not going to publicize or name him. But the police seemed very interested in his info. Hopefully it'll lead somewhere. Family, do you all remember we spoke about the grub truck several times? I believe there were a lot of weird people at the grub truck doing weird things. We had the guy chucking his food. He was dropped by a white car and he left with a white car. The thing is, Idaho is a hunting town, so everyone carries, I guess, K-bar knives and such large knives around. The Corner Club, I've read an article that night Kaylee and Madison reported John Showalter for harassment and stalking them. He was giving them weird vibes at the Corner Club. Before that, he got kicked out from the Delta fraternity, I believe. So he couldn't live there anymore. His parents are well off, so they moved him to an apartment that was just 2 minutes walk from the girls' flat. So there has been a lot going on with Jack Showalter, allegedly. I remember Kaylee's father said that he was ruled out too early. And Kaylee's father said that he doesn't believe a DNA test was taken of him. Kaylee's father, Steve, said that John Jack Showalter drove up to his cabin that is almost 6 hours away. This was the fraternity that John Showalter used to go to. I think it's called the Delta or Dels. And he was thrown away from the fraternity because of harassments. I wonder what his timeline was like, because we could clearly see that he was upset that the girls left without him. He even used the F word and waved his hand, and he looked like he was going in a rush. So this is just allegedly. Now picture if this John Jack Showalter was upset with the girls and he got thrown out of the corner club, allegedly, because the girls reported him for harassment. There was this woman who said her niece was at the corner club that day and she witnessed John Jack Showalter bothering the girls, harassing them. He was being creepy. And I'm starting to wonder, this is just a theory. Allegedly, it's just a speculation. Could it be possible when Kaylee asked Maddie, what did you tell Adam? She said, I told Adam everything. Could it be possible that they were indirectly talking about John Jack Showalter? Because I've heard people saying that they've heard him saying right after that, Maddie, you know they're going to get you. I've never heard that, honestly. Because they cut it off right after the two girls speak. So you can imagine if John Jack Showalter has an attitude problem. We've heard the girl that used to work with him in Boise. Yesterday I read the article who put it online in the beginning and said that if this is the guy you are dealing with, then you'll need to investigate him further. Because she said he was really creepy at work to the point that I had to slap him. And she said it went down in my record for that. So this was obviously a person who wasn't lying, because she's trying to tell us you all can confirm that it went into my record for that. So what was John Jack Showalter Jr.'s timeline that day? Because let's not forget, he was the last person who was seen in the grub truck with Maddie and Kaylee. And they clearly ran away from him. I don't understand why people say, oh, he was a good gentleman, he was escorting them. Why would they run from him if he was escorting them? That means he was the problem. They reported him to the corner club for being creepy, and it seems like he was the only person who actually left, allegedly left Moscow that night. We don't know what time he left Moscow. We heard allegedly that he went to his parents' cabin, and we know that his parents are rich doctors. We heard that they went to South Africa after that. He loves carrying K-bar knives and hunting large knives. And John Jack Showalter Bethany Funk, Dylan Mortensen have all gone to the same high school in Boise. So these people know each other. I've even heard that Jack D has gone to the same high school. I'm not sure about that part, but I know that he used to live in Boise too. And people in his fraternity and people who know him said that he changed drastically. You can see he looks like a young, handsome man there, but then we could see him in the grub truck. He looked like he was struggling for whatever reason. And allegedly, there's been a lot of talk about Eaton Chapin, may rest in peace, reported him and got him kicked out of the Delta fraternity. So he must be carrying a lot of grudge, allegedly. And the girls, Maddie and Kaylee, reported him. So if he was having complaints from Maddie and Kaylee, may they rest in peace, about harassment, and apparently they reported him to the police of his creepy behavior. I think he's just a privileged, rich kid that his parents take care of his affairs, allegedly. And for Steve Gongalves to say that he believes he was cleared too soon, I can understand clearly, because his behavior is very antisocial personality disorder symptoms. He's been involved with arson, burning down places. He loves cutting animals in two, trigger warning. He lived closest to the girls. And I'm sure he drives because he drove to Boise. His parents have a lot of influence with the mayor of Boise and many other people. So could he have been one of the 3 unidentified DNA that was found there? Or is it the 4 figures that were running around, up to no good? I wanted to put out a theory there. Allegedly. This is just my personal opinion. I was wondering, what if BK just say that this was a targeted crime and it happened between 3 to 4. Let's go according to the previous timeline. We saw, I don't believe the FBI and the police have any reason to lie, BK's car must have pinged there around 4:05. Could it be possible that BK had contact with Bethany Funk, allegedly, or Dylan Mortensen? Could they have called him pretending like nothing happened so that he could just come there? Because he was there only for 7 minutes. You saw that he ran in and we didn't even see him going in. He came back quickly. So maybe when he came and he saw the scene, he must have thought, what the hell is going on? That's why he speeded away, if you think about that. Could that make sense? Because what is it between BK and Bethany Funk? Why does he believe that her statement is really important to exonerate him? Did she set him up? Could she have set him up? Just asking. The surviving roommates could still be victims. But it's just too difficult for me to understand that it took them 8 hours. Not to call the police, in fact, to call the Sigma Chi boys. And they called, multiple people called 911 saying somebody was unconscious. Let's not forget this was a bloody crime. Trigger warning. So are these two young women trying to tell us they can't see the difference between unconscious people and people that have been ruthlessly murdered? That doesn't sit right.
More details about the grisly murders in Idaho. Police believe Brian Kohberger stabbed the students to death between 4 and 4:25 that morning. But after earlier reports, the victims were likely sleeping. New court records show at least one victim, XANA Coronado, was likely awake, getting a DoorDash delivery at 4 a.m. and minutes later was on TikTok. One of the surviving roommates hearing cries from Xana's room, then opening her own door to see that masked man coming toward her, so close she could see his bushy eyebrows before he walked past her and out the sliding glass door. Up until the release of this affidavit, police had not revealed one of the two roommates who survived was actually awake and witnessed the intruder.
Releasing that information could potentially do two things: put them in jeopardy, and also maybe complicate your ability to identify him. He might start getting rid of things, evidence that you might at some point be able to seize.
Police say last fall, Kohberger, a graduate student in criminology, applied for an internship with local police in nearby Pullman, Washington. Around the same time, investigators say cell phone data shows he made at least a dozen late night or early morning trips near the victim's home. Kaylee Gonzalez's father trying to find out why the killer went after these students.
There's still more to be gathered. I think it was a restaurant or a coffee shop or something like that that put this predator on their path.
I really want to know why Xana Konodul asked the father to change her locks in a bedroom. Was there some tension going on inside the house? Because let's think. Xana lives in the second floor, and we found out later on that Dylan, DM, lives in the second floor too. Were they having disagreements? Was Dylan bringing over guests that Xana may have not liked? Because let's not forget, this was a week before the murders. So was Xana feeling unsafe for some reason? The timeline the police was interested in and was asking the public for help was Xana Konodal, may she rest in peace, and Ethan Chapin, may he rest in peace. There was a fight that night at the Sigma Chi, and that was around 3:01. And the murders happened somewhere between 3 to 4. That is what we were told for a couple of months until the affidavit came, and timelines started changing, things started changing. Doesn't make sense. Strange how everybody in Idaho, Moscow was saying, oh, it was a awfully quiet night. I don't think it was quiet at all. Wasn't there that vandal football they had going on? Then they had that party in the Sigma Chi. That is allegedly where Eaton fought with David L., David Lodge? Did the people from Sigma Chi, let's be honest, did they come to retaliate? How come the police are asking us for the timeline of XANA Conodal, may she rest in peace, and Eaton? Or was it John Jack Showalter or someone in the corner club and the grub truck that were trying to take advantage of Maddie and Kaylee, may they rest in peace? Or was Kaylee the target since she wasn't supposed to come back that night, and whoever found out that she was there thought this is the chance since she's leaving to Austin? Any of these four roommates, any of these four people could have been the targets. But for someone to do such a vicious crime, especially with a knife, is more intimate. It has to be somebody who uses K-bar knives and such things, like John Jack Showalter, playing with it, cutting animals in half. Wasn't there the dog that was skinned? Poor dog. And John Jack Showalter was kicked out of the fraternity. I've read articles allegedly because he was showing dead animals in front of the what's it called, sororities and the fraternities, the Greek lifestyle or whatever it is. I'm not saying because these are college students and they're under fraternities and all that they're up to stupid pranks, but come on, too much has been happening. That young man that was found dead in the creek couldn't have been just an accident. Why did XANA